The first time I walked to Costco as something other than a customer, I counted the turns. Left of the entrance, past the electronics you didn't come for. A long pull toward the back wall for the one thing on your list. Then a switch back through the middle. Then the food at the far corner. Then the whole length of the building again to reach a register. By the time you've bought a rotisserie chicken and a bag of apples, you have walked most of a quarter mile and passed 1,000 things you never intended to see. That's not an accident. That's a floor plan. And a floor plan is an argument the building makes about how you should spend your money. I know because I spent 31 years in the grocery trade, 9 of them running a store, and I sat in the meetings where that argument gets built. I'm Henry. My wife Doreen keeps the list and I do the walking, and between us we've shopped that warehouse long enough to see through most of it. So let me hand you 10 things about Costco that the store would just as soon you didn't think too hard about. Not because any of them is a crime, but because a customer who understands the building spends less than one who doesn't, and the whole place is engineered around that one fact. None of this is about Costco being wicked. It's a good store, and I'll say so more than once before we're done. It's about the difference between walking in with your eyes open and walking in with them closed, and how much money lives in that difference over a year. 1, the price tag is talking to you, and the last 2 digits are the whole message. Here is the secret hiding in plain sight, printed on every tag in the building that almost no member ever learns to read. A Costco price that ends in 99 cents is the regular price. That's the everyday number, the one that isn't going anywhere. But a price that ends in something other than 99.7 most famously, is a markdown. The store is clearing that item, and it is telling you so right on the sticker in a code. It never explains because it doesn't have to. When you see that odd ending, that's the item on its way out the door. Either it's seasonal, or it's being discontinued, or that particular store is done carrying it. It will not be restocked. So if it's something you use and the price ending tells you it's clearing, that's the moment to buy deep because there is no next month for it. And then there's the asterisk, a little star in the corner of the sign. That's the other half of the code, and it means the same hard thing, not coming back. The store is not reordering it. Between the odd price ending and the asterisk, Costco is quietly telling every member exactly what's being cleared and what's permanent. And the members who learn to read it shop a completely different store than the ones who didn't. That's the first, and it's the one that unlocks half the others. Number 6 is the one that costs the most people the most money, so stay with me for it. 2, the layout moves on purpose and the confusion is the product. You know the complaint. You learned where a thing lives, and then one day it's gone, moved clear across the building, and you have to walk the whole floor to find it again. That is not disorganization. That is the design. A store you can navigate blindfolded is a store you're in and out of in 10 minutes. Buying only what you came for. A store where the map keeps changing is a store you have to hunt in, and hunting means walking past everything, which is the entire point. Every item you pass is a small argument for buying it, and the longer you're on that floor, the more of those arguments land. The defense costs nothing, and it's this: shop your list, not the aisles. Know the handful of things you came for, go get those, and treat everything else you see as a question rather than an answer. Did I come here for this, or did the building just show it to me? The whole quarter-mile walk is designed to blur that line. Keep it sharp, and the floor plan loses most of its power over your wallet. 3, the rotisserie chicken is bait, and it's honest bait, and you should take it. I'll give Costco full credit here because it's earned. That chicken is famously cheap, and it has stayed cheap on purpose, at a price the company has publicly refused to raise for years, even when it costs them to hold the line. For a household of 1 or 2, it's several meals for a few dollars. It's one of the genuinely great deals in American retail, and I mean that plainly, but understand why it's cheap. It's what the trade calls a loss leader, priced low, sometimes below what it costs the store, to pull you into the building and all the way to the back corner where they keep it, past everything else on the way. The chicken isn't where they make the money. It's the hook that gets you swimming through the part of the store where they do. So the secret isn't Don't buy the chicken, buy the chicken. The secret is knowing you've been walked to the back on purpose and refusing to fill the cart with margin on the trip there and back. Take the bait cleanly and leave the hook. 4, Kirkland is often the name brand wearing a plainer coat. Here's one the store is quiet about because saying it out loud would cost them. Costco's own Kirkland label is, in a great many cases, made by the very same manufacturer that makes the national brand. The same batteries, sometimes the same coffee, the same nuts, often the same product coming off the same line with a different label slapped on and a lower price under it. This is not a rumor. It's how store brands have always worked. And Costco's is one of the most respected in the country precisely because they lean on their name being worth something. You are paying on the national brand for decades of advertising that put one particular word in your head, that advertising is a real achievement and it's not in the product. Where I'll be fair, there are things where the name brand genuinely wins, usually where a recipe or a taste is the whole point, and you'll know those in your own kitchen. But across most of that store, reaching for the Kirkland label is the single easiest way to spend less on the identical thing, and the store would rather you kept reaching for the name you grew up trusting. 5. The per unit price is the only honest number, and bigger is not automatically cheaper. The great myth Costco runs on is that the giant size always saves you money. Sometimes it does. Often it doesn't, and the store is happy to let you assume it always does. Look at the little unit price in the corner of the shelf sign. The price per ounce, per pound, per hundred, that's the honest number, the one that lets you compare the enormous Costco package against the regular one at the grocery store fairly. Do that comparison and you'll find that plenty of the time the warehouse size is a hair cheaper per ounce, or the same, or now and then actually worse. And even when it's cheaper on paper, it isn't cheaper at all if half of it spoils or goes stale before 2 people can finish it. That's the real trap with the big sizes, and it's the next secret. So let me give it its own number. 6, the one that costs the most. The giant size you throw half of away. This is where the most money quietly leaves the pockets of people our age, and nobody at Costco is going to stop you. For a household of 1 or 2, and that's a lot of us now, the warehouse portion is frequently more than you can use before it turns. The bag of spinach that liquefies in the drawer, the flat of berries that molds on day 4, the 2-pound block of cheese, the gallon of a condiment, the bakery item, size for a family of 6. The per pound price was a marvel. The price per pound you actually ate was terrible because 1/3 of it went in the bin. The only measure that matters is cost per pound consumed, not cost per pound purchased. So before the big size goes in the cart, ask the honest question, will the 2 of us finish this before it goes bad? If yes, it may be the best value in the store. If no, that discount is an illusion, and the small package at the regular store beats it every time. Doreen and I stopped buying the giant perishables years ago, and our grocery bill went down because we stopped paying warehouse prices to feed our garbage can. Where the big sizes genuinely shine is the things that don't spoil. The paper goods, the cleaning supplies, the toilet paper, the foil, the dry staples. Buy those enormous and be glad. It's the perishables where the size turns against you. 7, the free samples are a technique, not a kindness. Everybody loves the sample tables, and I'm not here to spoil them. They're one of the small pleasures of the trip, but be clear-eyed about what they are. A sample does 3 things for the store, all of them working on you at once. It puts a taste in your mouth that makes you hungry, and a hungry shopper buys more of everything. It introduces you to a product you'd never have reached for, right beside a pallet of that exact product. And it creates the smallest sense of obligation. You took the thing, and now there's a soft little tug toward buying it. None of that is sinister. It's just not charity, and it's aimed squarely at the part of you that decides what goes in the cart. Enjoy the samples, have the little cup of coffee and the square of something. Just don't let the taste in your mouth do your shopping. The palate is right there because they know exactly what the sample does. And the defense is simply to notice it happening and buy the thing only if you'd have wanted it cold sober off a shelf. Let me stop here and say the thing I most want you to carry out of this video because the rest of the secrets hang off it. Costco makes very little money on the things it sells you. Its markup is famously genuinely low, capped low, held there on purpose. That part is real and it's why the prices can be good, but that means the store isn't living on the groceries at all. It's living on the membership fee, which is close to pure profit, and everything else, the floor plan, the chicken, the samples, the treasure hunt churn, exists to make you feel that the fee was worth it, so you'll renew. So the machine isn't built to trick you into bad products. It's built to make you come often and stay long, because frequency and time are what make the fee feel earned, which means the danger of that store was never that it'll sell you junk. It won't mostly. The danger is that it'll sell you a great many perfectly good things you had no use for, because a great many good things you didn't need still adds up to a cart you'll regret. Everything else here is really just a way of holding on to that one truth as you walk the floor. 8. The end caps in the middle of the floor are the expensive real estate. The layout has geography, and the geography has a price. The big open middle of the warehouse and the ends of the aisles where the pallets and displays catch you as you turn, that's the high traffic ground, and it's stocked with the things the store most wants moving. The impulse items, the seasonal goods, the higher margin displays, the stuff dressed up to feel like an event. The plainer necessities you actually came for are often tucked along the walls or down the less traveled runs, because the store knows you'll go find those no matter where they hide them. You don't have to avoid the middle. You just have to know that when you're drifting through that open center, you're standing in the part of the building engineered to sell you what you didn't plan on. And when you're working the perimeter, you're mostly among the things you meant to buy. A trip weighted toward the edges with only deliberate visits to the middle is almost automatically the cheaper trip. 9. The return policy is astonishing, and it's a savings tool if you use it as one. Costco's return policy is one of the most generous in all of retail. Most things brought back most of the time, refunded with remarkably little fuss. The store advertises this as goodwill, and it is. But here's the part members rarely turn into money. The reason people buy the expensive, familiar version of a thing instead of trying the cheaper Kirkland or the new item they're curious about is the fear of being wrong, of wasting the money if it doesn't work out. That policy erases the fear. It means you can try the store brand version, the unfamiliar product, the thing you weren't sure about, knowing that if it genuinely disappoints you, it goes back. Once being wrong costs nothing, you can find out for yourself across dozens of products which of the cheaper choices are every bit as good, and most of them are. Keep your receipts in an envelope in a kitchen drawer, and the whole warehouse becomes a place you can experiment in for free. 10. You don't need to shop as often as the store needs you to. Here's the last one, and it's the quiet one, underneath all the rest. That whole treasure hunt feeling, the changing floor plan, the here today, gone next week items, the sense that if you don't grab it now you'll miss it, is engineered to do one thing above all: bring you back. Bring you back often, because the more often you're in the building, the more the fee feels worth it, and the more small unplanned things find their way into the cart. The urgency is real as a feeling and manufactured as a fact. The defense is to shop on your schedule, not theirs. Go when you actually need to with a list and let the fear of missing out wash right over you, because the truth is that most of what feels urgent isn't, and the thing you missed is almost never something you'd have used. A member who visits with purpose a few times a month on their own terms gets everything good about that store: the low markups, the great chicken, the honest Kirkland deals, and pays for almost none of the drift. That's the whole game. The store is built to make you frequent. Your money is best served by making you deliberate. Let me tell you about last week because it's the whole thing in one cart. Doreen sent me in for 6 things. I came out with 8, and I want to walk you through the difference because that's where all 10 of these live. The 2 extras were both honest. A rotisserie chicken. I know it's bait, I took it anyway, cleanly, because it's a genuinely good few dollars for several meals deal. And I didn't fill the cart on the walk to the back to get it. And a case of Kirkland paper towels wearing an odd price ending that told me they were clearing that particular pack. Non-perishable, something we always use. So I bought 2 cases and moved on, both correct. Then in the wide open middle of the floor, a cookware set on a pallet display, dressed up like an event at a price that felt like a deal. I picked it up, I carried it a full aisle, and then I asked the only question that matters. Did I come here for this, or did the building just show it to me? The building showed it to me. I already own pots. I put it back on the pallet and kept walking. The chicken and the towels I finished the trip proud of. The cookware I'd have found in a cupboard 6 months later, unused, and wondered what I was thinking. That's the entire difference between a member who reads the store and one who gets read by it, and it comes down every time to one honest question asked in front of a pallet. So here's what I'd ask you to actually do, and it's small because small is what sticks. Next trip, before you get in the checkout line, stop off to the side and look in your cart and find the one thing you didn't walk in for, just one. Hold it a moment and ask yourself honestly whether you'd have driven to Costco specifically for that item today. If the answer is yes, keep it. That's the treasure hunt doing its proper job, and there's nothing wrong with a good find. If the answer is no, put it back. One item every trip, do that for a year, and you'll have saved the membership fee back several times over, and you'll never once have felt deprived because you'll only ever have set down the things you didn't want in the first place and read the tags. The 99 that means it's staying, the odd ending, and the asterisk that mean it's leaving. Once you can read what the store is telling you right there on the sticker, you're shopping the same warehouse as the sharpest member in the building. I read what people write me, so I'll leave you with 2 questions, and I'd like the honest answers. Tell me the thing your Costco used to carry that vanished on you. The item you loved that was there for years, that one week was simply gone with no explanation and never came back. Everyone who shops that store long enough has one, and Doreen has still not forgiven them for a frozen thing they stopped carrying years ago. She brings it up more than she brings up our anniversary. And tell me your own rule and the trick you already used to walk out of that place with only what you meant to buy. Because I've given you mine tonight, one honest question in front of a pallet. But I've been doing this 50 years, and I know some of you have worked out something better, and I'd genuinely like to steal it. I'll be back before long with another. Until then, take the chicken, read the tags, and put the one thing back.